Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Flosstube number 4. I am Annie of the Joy-Filled Stitcher here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. And I am coming to you with a weekly update. And it is Friday, June 7th. And this week has been interesting. My daughter's been in camp all week, so I've been trying to get things done around here, around the house, and just kind of trying to stitch a little bit more because it is summer, and you know, that was kind of one of my goals, is to be able to have some daily stitching time. And then fast forward to yesterday when I got hit with like a terrible stomach virus. Was up all last night, did not even know that this video was going to happen or not. But it is. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, which is good. And so I thought I'd come to you with a quick little update. Quick, I say quick, but you know, sometimes they end up being like 45 or more minutes. So we'll see how fast we can get through this. So I updated you a little bit about this week. So let's start with what I worked on this week. So over last weekend, I talked to you last Friday, and so I am participating in the It is Kismet. She started a magical moth sal hashtag to work on HL Moth by Kathy Barrick, and so I started this last Saturday and got in a fair amount of stitches into it to get a good start. And I am stitching this on a 16 count Aida from Mystic Fabrics, and this is Veteris or Veteris, which is a really pretty color. Let me get this folded because this is on a rather large piece of fabric. Is that the right? Yeah. So this is kind of where I have started. This is the body of the moth. So I've gotten a good fair bit started on that, and I ended up, I did not have the DMC. I did not really want to go out and purchase any of the conversions, so I just kind of looked at my, the picture on the front and pulled some from my stash. So I've got some classic Colorworks in Tufted Yellow. I've got some of the Ship's Manor limited edition that I just got in a grab bag, which I think will be pretty. Excuse me. I've got, this is a Victorian Motto Faded Primrose, which I think will be nice. Another Victorian Motto, this is Caramel Glaze. That's a good one. I've got this Gentle Arts Old Hickory. So that's kind of the brownish olive color. I've got a Ship's Manor. This was a Prim April Thread of the Month. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Very good. I've got a Weeks. This is Rust. Weeks Rust. And then for the dark, which kind of comes across a little bit as like a dark brown almost. I think that color is actually supposed to be 934 Old English Green. DMC. I'm using Weeks Dye Work Chesapeake, so it's got a little bit more of a blue-green tone to it. And then I've got one more, and this is with the Ship's Manor January Thread of the Month, and this was another one I got in a grab bag. So I'm using a lot of good, those good grab bags that I got, and I'm excited about this one. So far, I'm liking how this has started stitching at. Unfortunately, shortly hereafter, I put a little bit in, and I have not gotten back to it yet. And you'll kind of see why. So then after I worked on that, and that's just being stored in that, I have a Moth project bag, project sleeve in the works. I found some awesome Moth fabric. So I will get that in the works soon. I decided to work on my temperature quilt. This is a pattern that I found. I was looking for one to start in January for this year, and because I like the idea about it. And I was looking on Instagram, you know, temperature quilt, temperature cross stitch, and this one came up from last year. And this is a designer. Her name is Hetty Ruckert, and she is on Instagram. And so I am stitching this on an 18 count opalescent white Aida. And you can see I put in a fair amount. I started with this number 2 right here, went all the way across the top, all the way down, and then part of the way across the bottom. This was all of May. And you can see I have some pretty consistent temperatures in May here. We've got yellows and oranges, and then I had some random up here, this 138.46, which was like a 50 some odd day. It was rainy. That was towards the 1st of May. So I got, it was a large amount of stitches in that. And I actually am using that, I am doing the 24 hours of cross stitch challenge this month, where you need to pick a project to fit each of the letters in 24, TWENTYFOUR. And you get to pick your goal. So you can pick a stitching goal, 120 stitches, then I think it goes up to like 1,200 stitches or 2,400, something along those lines. And then, or you can pick a time element. I'm good with counting stitches. I know some people prefer time. And so I chose stitches, and I chose 120. I way surpassed that in that project. So I have some other things that I used for that as well. So then at the beginning of the week, I pulled out the piece that I was going to use for this week's homework. And this week's homework had to do with, oh my goodness, what did it have to do with? Now I have to look it up because I can't remember. I knew it was 1,000 stitches, or you could do penalty stitches, but of course you don't get as much credit for the penalty stitches. Let me look, I usually save it. So let's see, here we go. So what is the homework task? So this is year 4, week 5, task 1. Oh, dragons. That's what it is. It's the first task of the Tri-Wizard tournament. And you're going to, so the first option is to put yourself in the shoes of the challenger and stitch 1,000 stitches. When you pick your assignment piece this week, please explain how you would use this piece to get the dragon egg. This will need to be 2 or 3 sentences explaining how it works. You'll receive 1 point for every 100 completed stitches, up to 10 points. If you didn't want to do the kind of, they wanted a creative writing aspect to this. So if you didn't want to do that, you could stitch 300 stitches in one project and get 2 points. So I chose the Quilting Bee by Blue Flower. And so my justification on this, my writing piece was, this is a rather large and interesting looking bee that I would call upon to distract the dragon in order to grab the egg. If by chance the distraction did not work, I could use the bee's honey as a sticky sweet treat to bind the dragon. Plan C would be to have this quilt covered bee sing, buzz, the dragon to sleep with its comforting song. And so I put in 1,013 stitches on this. So let me pull up a picture of it in case you are not familiar with the Blue Flower Quilting Bee. I love this piece. I love this piece. So this is what it will look like finished. And I love the finishing on this piece. So this is a fun project. So I put in, like I said, 1,013 stitches. This is on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in Heartland. That is a new color for this year. And so this is where I've gotten to with this piece. And I'm hoping my coloring will come back. Because this is, for some reason, I'm still kind of yellow. Hello, come back. There we go. Now you get a better idea. So I put in the whole rest of the body in the mustard seed color. And then I finished off this wing on this side in Mountain Mist, which I love Mountain Mist. It can kind of go blue, gray, green all throughout. And so I'm loving how this is stitching up. And 1,000 stitches has made a decent bit of progress on this piece. So I enjoyed working on that this week and getting to use kind of my creative writing. And this is currently residing in a pouch that I found. This is just one I had lying around when I kind of got into making some, but I actually have some fabric I found at my local quilt shop that is kind of a funky, kind of mountain misty colored green. It's a tula with bees on it. And so I'm going to be, my goal was to make those today. It just didn't happen because I spent most of the day in bed. So then after I finished, I actually put that aside for one day because I was kind of feeling burnt on it. So before I finished the 1,000 stitches, I decided to go in and start working on some more of the tasks for the 24 hour. And I actually ended up with a finish on this. And so this is This is one I'm using for a swap, and so I needed to get it finished anyway. But I like that I got to use it for this. So this is Strawberries and Stripes by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I love this one. And so I used this for 5 of the tasks for 24 hours. So I used it for Waving Flag W. Oh, I used Temperature Quilt for T, temperature. I used it for Waving Flag W. I used it for E Eagle. I used it for U Urn, because it's in an urn at the bottom. I used it for red, because there's red stripes. And then I used it for flag. So I used it for Waving Flag and Flag. And so I have a finish. And I love how this turned out. It is so cute. And so this is mostly called for. I chose to use the called for in the places that I felt like it mattered. So the strawberries, the flag, and the bird, the eagle, the bird. And then some of the other ones I substituted DMC for them. Because the stitching is, in terms of the amount that you use of any given one, like one of them is Weeks Dye Work Caper, and the only place it is the eye. One stitch for the eye. So I chose to use a DMC for that. Now I am going to be stitching this again. This is on a Mystic Fabrics 18 count. This was just one of her ones she had one week that's kind of a bluish gray. I'm trying to get that to refocus again. Bluish gray. And so I'm going to be stitching this for myself as well. And I have an idea how I'm going to finish it. I'm going to do it as a pin keep. And I'm hopefully going to get that finished this week. And then I'll have it to show next week. Finished before I ship it off. And I know I probably shouldn't, but I don't think the person I'm swapping with. So I ended up getting 627 stitches to finish this out. And I'm excited to start the second one. So then I went back, finished Quilting Bee. I think I finished that yesterday afternoon. I stitched most of those 600 stitches in Strawberries and Stripes yesterday. And that brings me to today, when I started a new project. I started this. It's one of my extra credits for the School of Magical Stitches, and it's in ink circles. This is a free one I found on their website. This is ink spot number 7, and it's 4 in the bush. And I am stitching just the black part of this. I am not stitching the colors, and I'll show you why that makes a difference. First, it is in this pouch with this fun flannel I found at Joann's. And I am stitching this with Hand Dyed by Rolanda, a beautiful variegated from her shop. And I have 3 skeins of it, which I think will be more than enough. But I did go ahead and buy all 3 that she had, because this is considered a limited edition. And so this is what it will look like. So it's got green, gold to like this maroony red, and then it blends along the way. So let me show you where I've gotten started to. This is on a 14 count Silk Weavers. I don't know the colorway. I think it's a solo, but it's kind of this blushy pink. Let me see if it'll focus in on that. And this is where I've gotten to. This is 100 and some odd stitches. This is the center. And so I've gotten it started, my threads back here. But I've gotten some good variation in this. So yeah, I'm liking this so far. So I'm about a third of the way there. No, not even a third of the way. Like a quarter of the way there. Yeah, like a quarter of the way there. So, and I really like these pouches, because for the most part, they will actually fit my 8. No, not with all this nonsense going on. But it'll fit my 8x6 Q-snaps, which are my favorite, one of my favorite sizes. I like an 8x6, and I like an 8.5 by 11. And you can't buy them that way. I buy a 6 and an 8, and then I put them together, so I end up with 2 6x8s, and then same thing with the 8s and the 11s. And I just found I like the rectangular shape over stitching with like a square shape. And that's just my personal preference over time. So that brings me a little bit to plans. And we're doing good on time, folks. So my plans this week, well, this weekend, I'm going to hopefully get the remainder of those stitches into ink spot. So that task will be done and checked off. I'm hopeful to get some time into my Moth, the Magical Moth Sal. I want to see some more of those colors start to come out in the wings and in the body. And then I think I'm also going to try, I have one other new start that I would like to get started on, and that is Prairie Schooler Tree Farm, Christmas Tree Farm. And I did a full color conversion on that. It took me a long time last Saturday, and I really am excited about stitching it. So I will show that. Hopefully, if I get it started, I will show that next week. I don't want to pull out all my stuff right now. So, and then obviously Monday, new homework comes out. So I'll have to kind of figure out what I'm going to use for that. Actually, I say Monday, but they've been releasing it as early as Saturday night. And so that gives me Sunday to kind of get my head wrapped around it and create a story if it needs a story or whatever the case may be. So that is going to bring us to things I added to my stash. So I'm going to go ahead and swap to a new video clip because my camera sometimes decides to cut out. So I have had some fun looking through Stash Unload, and I found some cool things. I also have listed a ton of my stuff. Some charts from way back in the day, charts that for some reason I decided to buy 2 of, and so I have 2 of them. And then some other, all my linen, all the remaining linen that I have. I am just not enjoying stitching on linen. Now I say that, but I just bought a piece of 40 count for something. And so that will be coming along the pike soon, but not anytime soon. So one thing I got, and I'm excited about this. I'm not traditionally a Halloween stitcher, but I saw this one and I just really wanted to get it. And it's Jardin Privé, and I did take French. And this is Patchwork Halloween. So it's got kind of some Quakerish looking motifs, and it looks like a patchwork quilt. So I'm excited to start kind of thinking about stitching that one. No time soon, because I've got quite a long list. This is another one that I got. This is from the Country Spirits collection. And I just think he is so cute. And it's called Turkey Time. So Turkey Time. And it has, so it's the Turkey Time needle case and scissor claw. But I'm thinking of doing it like as a small, to kind of swap out on my little galvanized candle holder that I'm keeping my seasonal smalls in. And it has some cute little 3 tiny buttons, a little squirrel, and a little acorn. So I'm excited about that one. The embellishments are adorable. So already kind of starting to think towards fall stitching. This was a score, and I'm super pumped about it. And this is Rosewood Manor, Quaker Village. I think this is so cute. And they give you some cute ideas about how you could make it your own town and put your own town's name in there. And there's some neat detailing things like be creative. Use this alphabet to stitch the name of your town on the small welcome sign. And so I think that's so cute because it has like a little small welcome sign. So you could put your town on there. So I was excited about finding that. This was another one that I was super pumped about. And this is Blackbird Designs Happy Birthday. This is part of Anniversaries from the Heart series. This is number 6. So it says Happy Birthday, dear friend. But I think I'm going to stitch this for my daughter. And instead of dear friend, I'm probably going to put her name. So I think this is so cute. And then put her birth year. She was born in 2012. So I would put her birth year on there. So, I don't know. It's cute. I like that one. And then I got, what else did I get? This one still has stuff in it. So then I ordered from, this was from another D-stash. So this is from Cottage Garden Samplings. And this is May's Lily of the Valley. And I like the sentiment. It says, in springtime, love is carried on the breeze. But I think the thing that drew me most in is these 2 cute little snails. I think they're so cute. It sometimes is the little things. So this is part of the My Garden Journal series. So I'm excited about that one. Again, not coming anytime soon. And then I ordered from, now I can't remember the shop. I think it was Threads Entwined. And I was actually looking for, it's like my unicorn. Let me do a little story time. And I have since ordered it from 3 places, and 2 have gone rogue, and I've not heard from them since I placed the order. And so I think I'm going to have to do some disputing on those. And there are 2 shops that if I had just read on Facebook before ordering, I would have maybe figured that out before I got burned. But unfortunately, you know, I did not think I had to research, but lesson learned. but the pattern that I've been looking for that is my ultimate unicorn, again, it's one that is, it's pretty hard to find. It is out of print. It is Blackbird Designs, and it is the By the Chimney with Care, and it is the January stocking series. There's 3 stockings. One looks like a birthday stocking. I can't remember what the other 2 are, but more specifically, I'm excited about, I want the one with the birthday cake. So long story short, I had purchased it from 2 other people. They've gone away with my money. Purchased it from a 3rd shop, and they sent me an email and said, we're out of it, we're so sorry, like, we're gonna send you the other patterns that you ordered, but we can no longer get this one in. And I said, okay, fine, no big deal. And then randomly posted it in one of the stash posts, and somebody kindly said, hey, go check out Needlework D-Stash group. I went and checked it out. They had 3, 2 were claimed, the last one is mine. So it will be coming on its way to me, and it is at retail. Like, what? After all this time and after all this searching, found it at retail. So anyway, long story short, the company that I purchased that pattern, I purchased 2 others. They didn't have that, so I got these 2. These are from Summer House Stitchworks, and these are from the Fragments in Time series. I am kind of loving anything that looks like a quilt motif, and specifically anything that looks like the 8-point star. So this is Fragments in Time 2018. This is the number 3 in the series, and there's little postcard patterns. And then this is number, let's see if it'll focus. Focus, please. Thank you. Well, it's not wanting to. But this is number 8, and it has this super cute little bird, and this little bird has a wreath around him. Kind of reminds me of those fractor birds. Anyway, so I'm super excited about those. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with, like, the finish will be on those. That will come. Okay, so then more stash unload stuff. I saw this piece of fabric, and this is a 22 count hardinger, or, you know, similar to that, but it's a denim blue squares, and it is 20 by 20. So this is another one that I was thinking, okay, what can I do? Because I've discussed before how my school, the school that I teach at and that my daughter goes to, we have plaid uniforms. They are blue, white, black, and gray. And our colors are blue, white, black, and gray. I thought this could be cool for something. I don't know, like a pillow. So I'm not sure. This was a really great price. I think it was $8. So that was a cute find. Okay, so now... All right, so does anybody remember how I am going to be stitching? Does anybody remember? I am going to be stitching. Let me pull up a pattern real quick, or a picture of it real quick to show you. I am, one of the items that's going to be coming up soon for me is Bygone Stitches Christmas Quaker 2 Songs of the Season. And if you'll remember, I purchased it from someone off of Stash Unload, and it was the whole pattern plus all the flosses, the called for flosses, which are, I can't remember. It was a dark red and blue spruce. Clarinet? I don't know. Anyway, I'm now sounding kind of dumb. So anyway, I saw somebody, I was researching this. And I was looking and I was like, oh, let me just look. I like to look at the pattern. I like to look at how people have been stitching it. So I searched Christmas Quaker 2 on Instagram. That's where, on Instagram. And so in my searching, I saw somebody who had begun it on a creamish fabric, which is what the original is stitched in, but chose to do alternate coloring. And I was like, oh... I'm all for alternate coloring. So I am looking for a picture of the front of the pattern, because what I ended up doing was, I was like, you know what? I found that I could purchase the pattern as a PDF, and it would already be ready to load onto my iPad, and would require me to, like, you know, do the scan to get the working copy on my iPad. So I ended up listing the kit, the pattern with all the flosses back on Stash Unload. Somebody bought it. I sold it for the same. Basically, I lost money on it because I ended up selling it for what I had purchased plus shipping. But what I decided to do was to find myself some different colors maybe to stitch in. So I'm trying to pull up the pattern while I'm chatting with you, and my Google Drive keeps crashing on my iPad. So we're going to try this on another device, or we're going to see if I can just find the pattern real quick. So please. So anyway, talk amongst yourselves. Christmas, Quaker. Promise I thought I was off the struggle bus. However, I'm not. Okay. I think I found it. So, to refresh your memory, if it needs to be refreshed, this is what it will look like. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. So basically it is, the vast majority of the pattern is stitched in dark red, garnet-ish red. And then the words are more back stitched. Some are cross stitched, but a lot are back stitched in a dark green. In that case, it was blue spruce. And so I was like, yeah, So I went to my dear old friend, Nance Turner, at Victorian Motto, and I was like, scan. I went to her eBay. And I was like, what could I find that I would like to stitch this with? So I'm torn, and this is why I'm bringing this to you. Because I know that I am going to do the motifs in Hydrangea Blossom. I love it. So Hydrangea Blossom is a good mix of purple and a light blue and a little bit of a medium purple. It converts to approximately DMC 210 and 828. And the pattern calls for 115 yards of this one color. So I purchased 6 of Nancy's skeins because she is so generous and gives 20 yards in each skein. So here's where I'm coming to you. I have 2 choices for my words. So, and there's a possibility I might use both. I haven't decided that yet. But choice 1 is Garden Peas. So let me show you with the Hydrangea Blossom. And Garden Peas is approximately 3053, DMC 3053. So there is Hydrangea Blossom with Garden Peas. So that's one choice. And I like purple because purple is the color of Lent. It's the color of preparation in our church. And green, obviously, is like evergreens. So the other choice, though, and this is way out there, way wacky, and I may bring this in a little bit in some of the things, I'm not sure yet, is, oh, see, I love that. Glorious Pinks. And I'm actually debating stitching this on like a light blue-gray. Light blue-gray. Actually, hold. I'm curious about something. I don't have enough of this, but it would give me an idea of what to watch for. I don't have near enough of this, actually, because this requires a rather lofty piece of fabric, and I will be stitching it. It's like something like this. Ooh, beauty. Okay, now, just because, you know, I don't know. What do we think? I know for sure I'm doing Hydrangea Blossoms. But do we like Glorious Pink? Glorious Christmas is glorious. Glorious Pinks or Garden Peas or some of all. I don't know. What do we think? What do you think? Comment. Let me know. Let me know if I should stitch it in. Obviously, this is not happening anytime soon. I say that, but it'll probably be started next week once I figure out what I'm going to do and what my fabric's going to be. But it could be really pretty on this bluish gray. I don't have anywhere near enough. I need to get with Misty over at Mystic and say, hey, I need 18 count in this gigantic piece. Actually, I may do it 20 count. Yeah, I may do it 20 count. It's going to be big no matter what, but it's going to be super big if it's anything less than 18. Okay, so while I was shopping with Nancy, I bought some other purples and greens and things to see if there was any other ones. So I'll just show you what else I got because, you know, love it. So I got French lavender. French lavender, which I think is really pretty. I got Highland Heather, which I cannot wait to find a project for that to go in. I got Purple Splendor. Actually, Purple Splendor was a freebie, which I thought was so sweet, and I love it. And then I got bright candy pink. Oh, I'm a sucker for pinks. Bright pinks especially. And then I wasn't sure on my green, so I got butterfly bush. I think that's a really pretty green. And I got lime squeeze. Pretty bright green. And then I got, this wasn't for nothing in particular other than I just love the color and it looked unique. And this is river salmon. And this is approximately 3824 DMC 3824. Got violet mist. This is 210 and 211. I got spun gold, which is 3822. And I thought this could even be cool to pull in on that piece. And then I've got antique rose petals, which is 3832 and 3833. So pretty. Always love her stuff. And actually I got a shipping notification this morning that my monthlies are on their way. Yay! I'm excited. I love getting flosses. And I'm excited now that I'm finding projects to put my flosses in. I don't feel like I'm just like accumulating and hoarding and not doing anything with them. Alright, so let's talk about the fact that my dog is snoring on the bed. Again. Aren't you lovely? My dog's name is Potter, as in Harry Potter, because he has a white lightning bolt marking on his back. He is a Cavalier King Charles, and he is spoiled rotten. And he is 3 years old. And he's clearly snoring. Anyway. Okay, so I got my monthly fabric from Misty over at Mystic Fabrics LLC. The color this month is Big Sky. And I got a big piece, too. It's an 18 count. I do the... Sorry, that's really loud. I do the Any Adas, which means I get a surprise. Which means I could get 14, 16, or 18. Maybe 20. I'm not sure. Or 22. And then sometimes opalescent, sometimes just regular. So I got non-opalescent. And this is Big Sky. So pretty. So I got an 18 by 30 inch piece. It's a pretty good size piece. And it's beautiful. I'm excited. I don't know what I'll put on that yet, but I do like it. Okay, so then I got... I need to chop this video again. So pause. I'll be right back. Well, if I can find the button on the back of my camera, I will be right back. Still here. Alright, I'm back. And we got a final clip. So Misty over, I promise I have no affiliation with her other than I love her things, but she posted biddy bags on her website. And so her biddy bags are one cuts of not hand dyed fabrics, but more like her just specific dyed fabrics. So I was excited to find, these are the 20 count dot Ada. And I got 2 of these, and they're 9.5 by 10.5, which these would be great for little projects like ornaments. They were $2.50 each, so that was a great deal. And then she had a larger cut. She had an 18 by 21.5, and this one was only $9. So I went ahead and snagged that. I'm loving those, and that was a deal, Lucille. And then she had an 18 count country mocha and a 14 by 21.5 inch piece. This was only $6.50. So she's completely sold out now, but definitely something to watch, to follow her for, because that was a really great deal. Okay, I think I've got 2 more things, and these are both subs. So the first that came earlier this week is my Color and Cotton, and I subscribed to 6 skeins of the Prim and 6 of the Bright Variegated. And so this month, these are the Prim. So I think it's a good, it's kind of a darker color palette, but we've got Chimney Sweep. See if I can get it to focus on that. Chimney Sweep, Ivy and Woodland, and Cardamom and Adobe. And so I'm excited. I think these are really nice. I think they could be really good, like specifically, my thought process was these could be very Prim patriotic together. So I liked those. I thought those were great. And then as always, I love the Brights Variegateds, especially these this month. They're very summer. So again, I get 6 of the Bright Variegated. So here they all are in their brightness together. Pretty. So I'm excited about this one. Funny story. So this one is Lollipop. My parents are Lolly and Pop. That's so cute. To their granddaughter, my daughter. Got Purple Rain. I think it's an homage to Prince. I don't know that for a fact. Buttercup, which is a really pretty bright golden yellow. Love this one. This is Rain Washed. That's really pretty. And then Olympic. I love that one too. I mean, I'm turquoise all the way. Like, these make my heart happy. Those are so pretty. Love them. So that was Color and Cotton, and I love them. So good. Every month, so good. And I've got some of her stuff slotted for the Prairie Schooler Tree Farm. So I'm excited about that. And then the very last thing, and it just came today, so I'm super excited, is I got my monthlies from Ships Manor. So I get the Prim Ada. And this is a 16 count, 13 by 18. So a Stitcher's 8th, I think. Yeah. And this is the June Prim color, which to me, I'm like, this with something autumnal on it, beautiful. Loving it. Such a pretty color. I love everything he does, and I'm so happy that he finally opened up to where you could kind of pre-slot yourself for his monthlies, because I was always too slow and I would remember it like 2 days after they were done. Okay, so then I get the June, I get the monthly cottons. And there's usually one that kind of, to me, screams more a Prim color, and one that screams more like a Brights variegated. And so this month, the June, more neutrally Prim. It's like a really pretty dark golden yellow. So different than the Color and Cotton, which is cool. And then this is the mix, which to me is like Mojito. Kind of. Oh, why not? Or Parrot. I don't know. But it's like a turquoise, lime green, and then that same kind of golden yellowish tone. So real pretty. I like those this month. I get 2 because they're such a great deal, and because if you have a project that calls for more than 5 yards, you'd be hard pressed to find once the month is over. All right, and then the last thing that I got that shipped with, that I did order before my monthly, is his Alice in Wonderland thread pack. And I'm getting a blinking red light, so I'm hopeful, blinking red battery, so I'm hopeful I can get these shown to you before my battery dies. I don't think my other battery's charged. So we've got, let's see if we can do this. We've got Cheshire Cat, love, Cheshire Cat. Mad Hatter, Queen of Hearts, which is like a red and black and charcoal combo. Alice, love it, bright and springy. Caterpillar, which is 2 shades of blue, real bright like his Calypso blue, and then Bonnie blues kind of. And then White Rabbit is a pink and white variegated, love it. And the Tweedles, so fun. Bright yellow and like chartreuse green. So great collection. I think these are still available on his site if you are an Alice in Wonderland fan. I don't have any Alice in Wonderland stitching, so I guess I've got to rectify that and come up with something to stitch with these. So these are going to get put away here shortly. I've started putting all my flosses in floss away bags. Where they've gone since then is in a giant tub, and then we'll figure it out from there. So that's all I have for you today. I think this might have been a slightly shorter video, and so I wish you all a really happy stitching weekend ahead if you're participating in the 24 hours of stitching. Hope you have lots of snacks prepared. I am not. I was thinking about it, but then, you know, stomach virus. So I'm going to get this uploaded. Hopefully it'll come up tonight. If not, you might be seeing this on Saturday. And as always, I just wish you all the best and many blessings until we talk again. Have a great one. Bye.